let me start. Firstly, I will start from the Revolution of Dignity, maybe. Who knows about it? Okay, in the end of 2013, we had the Revolution of Dignity in Ukraine, and there were a former president in Ukraine, Yanukovych, and not a lot of people were very satisfied with what he was doing in Ukraine, and also about the government and parliament. And the young students came to the Maidan, our square, and had the revolution there. There were a lot of people involved, and after the Revolution of Dignity in 2014 already, our part, the south part of Ukraine, Crimea, was occupied by Russian troops, and it's still occupied right now. And there is some occupation in eastern part of Ukraine still ongoing. And so I will start the second part. It will be about the reanimation package of reform. After the Revolution of Dignity, the young activist has gathered together and decided to promote the civil society and to make some reforms in Ukraine, because it was really bad things going after the revolution and after the Yanukovych has left Ukraine and went to the Russia. And so currently the reanimation package of reform is an umbrella organization which covers more than 80 NGOs in Ukraine, and it has more than 23 expert groups which are dealing and promoting reforms in different spheres, such as healthcare, judicial reform, anti-corruption reform, and so on. So I will start about the judicial reform in Ukraine, which I'm dealing with. And so why we have decided to make the judicial reform? Because the level of trust to the judiciary was extremely low, and we have polls on it. It was 5, 10. Actually, the polls it's 1 year ago, but in 2013 it was really low. It was only 3%, and there was a lot of corruption in Ukrainian courts because the oligarchs in Ukraine, they usually decide, resolve their claims by bribes, using bribes to the judges. So it was totally corrupted. Also, there is political dependence of judges, because the president was appointed the judge, and the MPs, the members of parliament, were also involved in this procedure. So the members of parliament were ruling them in such way, yes, informally. Also, there is an efficiency of work of the judges, which means about the human resources and what they actually can do in the institutions. Also, the legal education is commercially oriented and still based on Soviet approach. So we wanted to change this legal education and to make it more convenient for those who are attorneys, judges, prosecutors, and so on, some other legal professions. Also, the commercial disputes are settled in Ukraine by professional judges, while in European countries it's done by authoritative experts trusted by the business. So we say it's like arbitral procedure, and we want to settle it also in Ukraine. What else? We have several goals to deal with and to achieve. First, it's renewal of the judicial corps and improvement of judges' accountability. So for this matter, we have started to renew the Supreme Court of Ukraine. And we just decided to elect new judges from new system. So we decided it was a law which was adopted in 2016 in September, which currently prescribes that those who want to be a judge may apply and have concourse
Competition.
and have a competition on a general basis with attorneys who have their working experience around 15 years. It's like you may be then appointed as a judge of the Supreme Court. And we have started from the Supreme Court because it's the high level and the lowest composition of judges should be appointed to this court. And also the Public Integrity Council was established. It consists of 20 members from civil society, from NGOs. They are attorneys, scientists, journalists, and other people like who help the High Qualification Commission of Judges in this competition on appointment. What else? Achievement of real independence of judges. It's we are talking about the high salaries. The salaries were increased under the law, and also currently the appointment of judges is not by the president. It's like president just signs an appointment, and that's all. And what else? Introduction of new technologies for organization of work of judges and administration of justice. In this goal, we are talking about e-justice, like when you may use electronic system to file the application, to receive appointment for the hearing, to pay the payment, like the судові збори, court fees. Yes, I'm sorry, I apologize. Okay, about the introduction of a full-fledged jury trial. Apparently, it wasn't prescribed in our law to have the jury trial. And it was in new criminal code prescribed that there should be a jury in some criminal cases, and they are obliged to have a decision whether the person is guilty or not. And then the judge is just appointing the measure of покарання, of punishment. Yeah. So about the world standards. We are eager to be a participant of European Union, and that's why we have to deal with world standards in this sphere also. And the establishment of an anti-corruption court to consider high-profile corruption cases. There were a lot of bodies established during this time, and Sasha will represent this anti-corruption issue better than me for you, and he will be next talking about it. So, and diversification of the mechanism to solve commercial dispute. As I've told you, it should be like an arbitral procedure for the commercial issues. What else? We had a lot of achievements in judicial reform since 2014. In 2015, there was written the strategy for judicial reform, and it was adopted by the decree of the President of Ukraine. We have adopted also the amendments to the Constitution and also the implementation law, which name is on the judicial system and status of judges. Also, due to the constitutional changes and introduction, there was electronic system for disclosure of judges' assets, income, and expenditures. And due to this, around 1,000 judges have resigned. And there are a lot of empty places, vacant, really. And High Qualification Commission of Judges announced the competition for the new Supreme Court in November 2016, and it is ongoing right now. And it has several stages of competition. Firstly, you have to apply your statement, like your application, to apply for this contest, for this position. Yes, you have passed the exam. Then you have to write the paperwork on some case. Then you have the Public Integrity Council reviews all your application, exams, assets, statements, everything you have, and it investigates whether your income corresponds with your outcomes. And if it's not, the Public Integrity Council says to the High Qualification Commission that they are not good with this applicant, and the High Qualification Commission of Judges has right to appoint this judge only if there will be 11 votes out of 16. So the high majority of votes there should be. So yes, the Public Integrity Council was established also, and the High Qualification Commission of Judges announced a competition for the local courts in April 2017, this year. So what else? Maybe I will go briefly about the amendments in this sphere. So we had previously the 4-tier system, you may see. It was local courts, courts of appeal, the 4th level, the high courts, commercial, administrative, and civil and criminal cases, and after there was the Supreme Court, the highest one. And currently it is 3-tier system when it's on the local courts, courts of appeal, and the cassation court, Supreme Court. And it has sub-branches on different spheres only. What else? We have prescribed in our constitution that there should be advocacy monopoly in Ukraine. Like only attorney at law may represent the person or legal entity in the court, and it wasn't previously like this. So, and previously public had no any chance to influence to appoint of judges, and currently through Public Integrity Council, it has such chance. What else? Talking about our work in reanimation package of reforms, we are drafting and doing a lot of work on advocacy, because we are drafting a lot of implementation laws and which we like to be adopted. Would like to adopt our members of parliament, and also we have the timeline of judicial reform. It's on our website. It's some kind of infographic. I don't know whether you use it. I know. And what shall be their further steps in order to have the judicial reform full and implemented? Yeah, it should be additional laws adopted, namely the law on the High Anticorruption Court. This is the main one. The amendments to the Law on Prosecutor's Office, the new version of the Law on Bar or Attorney of Laws, yes, and the Law on Legal Education and Access to Legal Profession, the new version of the Law on the Constitutional Court of Ukraine, because there were some changes in the Constitution of Ukraine, and the amendments to the procedural codes, and regarding the e-justice. Namely, we think it wouldn't be the amendments, but it will be the new one codes, totally new one. So our instruments, how we make advocacy in this. So we are doing demands, public demands, we are having some statements, we are asking our members of parliament is it to do or not to do, and High Qualification Commission, is it to vote for some member of the High Qualification Commission of Judges or other body, in judiciary also we have some protests. This was one of the famous one. We named it the Judges in Chocolate. Yes, it was real chocolate. And also we did a roadmap of reforms for Ukraine. It covers 23 sectors of reforms, and it's also online on our webpage on RPR. So this is all about the judiciary system and judiciary reform in Ukraine. And if you have so many questions, you're welcome.
Yeah.